Welcome to the Utility Terrain Vehicle Operator Orientation course for Pulama, Lanai, presented by Lawson and Associates. This course is an orientation on the general requirements for utility terrain vehicles, or UTVs. This does not cover all requirements for all UTVs. In all circumstances, operators must ensure they have read and are familiar with the operator's manual for each make and model UTV that they'll be operating. Failure to comply with the safe operating requirements will result in removal of the driving privilege. By completing this mandatory orientation, you acknowledge that you are responsible for the safe use and operation of any UTV. The Honda and Polaris operators manuals were used in developing this orientation. At the completion of this orientation, learners will be able to identify fundamental safety requirements for the safe use and operation of UTVs, perform a pre- and post-use inspection, and report deficiencies or concerns for UTV maintenance and service, and demonstrate safe operating techniques as required by the manufacturer's operating requirements. Let's take a quick look at Hawaii law, effective 2024, HRS Title 17, 286-12, UTV permitted use. What is a UTV? A utility terrain vehicle means a motor vehicle that is designed to be operated off-highway, is 60 inches or less in width, has an unladen weight of 1,300 pounds or less, is suspended on 4 to 6 tires, has a steering wheel for steering control, is equipped with rollover protection, accommodates one driver and one passenger sitting side by side, and is equipped with seat belts for driver and passenger protection. Where can you operate a UTV? UTVs may only be operated on Pulama Lanai property. Drivers are not permitted to operate UTVs on public roadways. Failure to comply with this requirement will result in the loss of UTV driving privilege. In the event of an incident involving property damage, injury, or incidents involving the public, you're to immediately notify your supervisor, Pulama Lanai management, and safety representatives. In some instances where there's damage of $3,000 or more, the police may need to be notified to make a police report. Let's take a look at some basic safety requirements. Before operating any UTV, you must read, understand, and follow the operator's manual. Misuse of this equipment can lead to accidents. Although most UTVs will have similarities, it's critical to review the operator's manual for the specific make and model of UTV, as some UTVs have separate, different requirements. Signal words are used to communicate important information and warn the user of the equipment of potential dangers. The danger symbol with the exclamation mark and the triangle means that if you fail to adhere to this warning, you will be killed or seriously hurt if you don't follow the instructions. The warning label means you can be killed or seriously hurt if you do not follow instructions. And the caution label means you can be hurt if you do not follow these instructions. Labels will be posted all over the UTV, showing what to avoid and what to be aware of. Safety labels must be legible at all times. If labels are illegible, check the operator's manual for the label locations and part number and notify maintenance immediately for a replacement. Any operator or passenger of a UTV is required to wear a safety helmet with a securely fastened chin strap and protective eyewear meeting the ANSI Z87.1 design criteria. Seatbelts must always be used when driving or riding within the UTV, and UTVs are equipped with a seatbelt interlock feature that will sound an audible alarm if the vehicle's travel speed exceeds 15 miles per hour without seatbelts engaged. Doors or side netting of the vehicle must be closed while the vehicle is in motion. Always keep your hands and feet within the vehicles and follow the site speed limits and yield the right-of-way to other traffic and pedestrians. Let's discuss inspection and servicing requirements. Before driving, inspect the utility vehicle for signs of wear or damage. Remember, inspection items can vary from different UTV manufacturers, and it's important to check the operator's manual for vehicle-specific requirements. All inspections must be documented. If a vehicle does not pass inspection or you're not sure, you should immediately notify your supervisor and the owner of the UTV. You should also place the vehicle out of service by locking and tagging it and controlling the key. Please leave a note on the vehicle that informs others why it's not available for service. Ensure the foot platform is clean of mud and remove any debris around the foot controls. All safety equipment must be in good condition and fastened in place. This includes lights, shields, and safety start devices. Before you move the UTV, be sure to check around the vehicle for obstructions and pedestrians. Do not move until you have a clear path of travel. When changing drivers, verify that an inspection was completed. And remember, the driver is always responsible for the condition of the vehicle. Be sure to check your fuel level. This can be done by checking the fuel gauge and add fuel if needed. Make sure the fuel cap is secure and check for the smell of fuel. If you smell any fuel, turn off the ignition immediately and inform your supervisor. Be sure to check your engine oil level. This can be done by checking the engine and sub-transmission oil levels and add oil if needed and if you're authorized. Otherwise, notify maintenance immediately for service. Check under the vehicle for any visible signs of leaks. Check the brake fluid level. Check the fluid level, brake pads for wear, look for leaks in the braking system, verify the parking brake is operational, check your coolant levels, and add additional coolant as required by the manufacturer. Anytime you add product, ensure you are adding the correct specified product per the manufacturer. If this is something that you're not trained or comfortable doing, you must notify maintenance immediately. Inspect the drive shaft and boots for damage, tears, or leaks. Inspect steering tie rod boots for tears or punctures, and check the steering to make sure it turns smoothly in both directions. If the steering does not turn smoothly or consistently, notify a supervisor immediately. Check tires and wheel rims. Check the air pressure of all tires using a tire gauge and make sure that they're inflated to the manufacturer required PSI. Inspect for damage, such as bends and cracks in the wheel rim. Check the tires for adequate tread and damage such as gashes, cuts, bulges, or missing chunks. All of these can lead to a potential tire blowout or a loss of traction. Lastly, check the wheel rim nuts and make sure that they're tightened and in place. Check seatbelt function. Make sure all seat belts are in good condition and operate correctly. Seat belts must move smoothly when pulled out and retract independently when released. The latch plates should click securely into the buckles and release when the release buttons are pushed firmly. Test your safety systems, your headlights and taillights. Inspect them for damage and verify that the lights are operational. Test your horn and verify the horn is operational. Rollover protection helps save us in the event of an overturn. Inspect the rollover protection, or ROPS, for damages and cracks to the welds, and look for bends and dents. If you find any deformities, notify your supervisor immediately, and again, take the system out of service. Be sure you check the nets on the door for their condition and function. All side nets or doors and their mounting hardware must be in good condition, and latches must secure tightly. Most UTVs have the listed frequency of servicing within the operator's manual. These are typically based on hours used or annual hours, whichever is first. Common servicing hour increments are every 100, 200, and 300 hours of use. However, be sure to check your operator's manual for the specific requirements. Servicing may only be done by a qualified mechanic. If any damages or issues are discovered on a vehicle, notify your supervisor immediately, place the equipment out of service with notification, and make sure that it is removed from the fleet until repairs can be made properly. Let's look at how we can safely operate our UTVs. Starting the engine. Sit in the operator's seat, but don't start the engine yet. Check the free movement of the pedal assemblies by pushing down on the accelerator and service brake pedals and release the pedals. Shift to park if you're not already in park. Note, some UTVs do not have a park. If this is the case, shift into neutral if the vehicle is not already in neutral. Push the service brake pedal, turn the key switch to the run position. When the glow plug indicator turns off, turn the key to the start position. If the engine does not start within 5 seconds, turn the key to the stop position and wait 10 seconds before trying again. Attempt starting the engine 5 times only, then wait 5 minutes before trying again. This allows time for the starter to cool and prevents damage. Release the key to the run position when the engine starts. Stopping. To stop the machine, ensure the vehicle is parked on level ground. If you're parked on the hill, you must have wheel chocks in place. Shift into park. Some UTVs do not have a park, in which case you would then shift into neutral. Lock the parking brake if one is provided. Turn the ignition key switch to the stop position. Remove the key and never leave the vehicle unattended while running. Always follow proper shutdown procedures when leaving the vehicle. Always use the service brakes when going down slopes. The utility vehicle can do something called freewheeling, and this is when the vehicle can speed up going down a slope. The vehicle has a limited amount of engine braking that can assist when going down a hill or slope, and it is highly recommended to remove your foot from the throttle pedal and use a service brake during descent. If the vehicle is freewheeling, the engine braking is not engaged, use the service brakes to slow the vehicle down. Do not re-engage engine braking, meaning do not depress the throttle pedal when freewheeling. This could cause the vehicle to skid. Always descend a hill or a slope in a slow and controlled manner. Balance loads evenly and secure them. Remember, braking could shift the load and affect vehicle stability. Don't stop or start suddenly when going up or downhill. If the vehicle stops or loses power going up a hill, apply the service brake to hold the vehicle on the slope. Maintain direction of travel and release the service brake slowly. Back straight down the hill slowly while maintaining control, and do not turn the vehicle sideways. Always travel at the posted speed limit. If there is no speed limit posted, you are to travel at walking speed. Remember, there is no driving UTVs on public roads. Be sure to know what the site rules are for where your UTV can be driven and obey all safety requirements. When turning, drive slowly and be careful. Sharp turns can cause the load to shift and cause the UTV to tip over. Do not overload the vehicle and stay alert for holes, rocks, drop-offs, and other hazards. When reversing, before you reverse, check for people, material, or machines. Use caution and reverse slowly. Keep scanning the area and be sure to clear the area behind the vehicle before moving. An audible alarm will sound when the vehicle is in reverse. If needed, use a spotter when visibility is limited or you're in a congested area. Seating is provided for the UTV operator and passengers. No one should ride on the tailgate or inside the cargo box. Do not load above the height of the load guard, and ensure that all loads are distributed equally and secured in place. Never load beyond your maximum capacity. This can be found in the operator's manual. Keep the vehicle safe from an edge or a drop-off when you're offloading. When fueling UTVs, ensure all sources of ignition are removed. Use only approved fuel containers and never remove the fuel tank cap or add fuel while the engine is running. Be sure to allow the engine to cool before you refuel and clean up spills immediately. Thank you for taking time to watch this orientation. Remember, UTVs can be a helpful tool. They're not to be used for horseplay, such as doing donuts and racing. This is a tool to help us accomplish our work and be more effective and efficient. Your attention, your diligence, and your safe attitude are appreciated and necessary. If you have any questions, please contact your supervisor or safety. Thank you.